Good morning. What's up, everybody? Everybody's well. Thanks for joining. We have sound. We're good. All right. So, welcome. If you found this channel, thanks for stopping by. Um, my goal here is to be able to help provide a place where everybody can, you know, whoever wants to, uh, come in, share ideas, talk about trade ideas. It's I trade by myself. It gets a little, it has its days. So I'll go over a few of my ideas. We'll talk about things that are going on through the day. This also helps me record my sessions and be able to go back and see, you know, what was I doing. I got some pretty good sleep last night, so we're already starting off with the plus. I feel pretty good. Yesterday, I took a small trade on NVIDIA yesterday on that pullback. Um, because I watched this. If you were with us last week, we've been on Nvidia and we've been watching the fact that it's been above these moving averages, and every time you got back above this 186, 185, 50 zone, you got up there, it rejected. Okay, you got up, it tried to hold, and then it failed. You could not extend off of that level, right? You retested it 2 days later on that Friday, had a big sell off. So this is obviously, it's a tough zone. It's a very tough zone. You got above it yesterday. 186 couldn't hold with the 100-day moving average. You busted right through it. Chances are, if it hasn't done it in the past and it hasn't been able to gain any ground, you know, that would be front running the move, thinking, "Hey, I'm going to get long or I'm going to get short on the pull in to 186," and you're expecting 186 to break. You want to see what it does there, but you're already saying, "Hey, 186, it hasn't been holding." What else is there? That's your earnings gap down. Okay, that's also from prior earnings. Okay, that was that the day after earnings. This was your low up here, or this was your close, and we had the box. So we've known these important levels. This is pretty important stuff here, right? Right there. This was the day where we got up above it, and then look at that tail, and look where it closed. You closed below that closing candle, right? You closed up above it, and then what did it do? It gapped down. You still couldn't even close above 186. You struggled to make any progress. Like a close up in here would have been cool. You know what I'm saying? That'd have been like, okay, now we can look for that pull in, hold, and extend higher. So, um, near term, I would just look for Nvidia to just maybe you get a test now of the 200-day moving average. That's possible. So, again, if you're new here, hit the like button, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. So Nvidia is working its way back up into that 185.50, 185 to 186 zone. I'm going to keep it on watch. What I'll do is I will put in an alert. It may not, it may not come to fruition today with whatever the markets are rallying the markets are also rallying right into resistance. All right, so it is 9 a.m. I gotta hurry up here. All right, so that's Nvidia. I'll set an alert up here in this zone just to get informed when it gets up there. Um, Listen, if for whatever reason Nvidia does get back above 186 and it gets above that 100-day moving average and it holds this time, that would be your third time, and I would look for to see if we can get an extension and try to get through this 187.50, 188. Okay, that's that little consolidation zone again from that the day after your earnings. Massive sell off, and that would mean, hey, we're going to get back up above this level. If you do, and it starts to hold, now you're taking back the earnings sell off, right? And you would look to see, hey, you potentially have room way back up in there to like the 194s, you know? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I would watch if any of that happens. I am not okay unless start to like. I at least want to see it hold a hold of 186 with low volume on the test, like on the let's say when you get above 186 and you get a low volume pullback into that zone. Maybe you get a shakeout, right? It breaks 186 and it quickly reclaims it. something of that sort. So we'll keep an eyes on it. I'll keep my eye on it, um, because it opens up, right? It really starts to open up here. And if you sucked in more shorts on another break and fail of 186 and you get back up there, things are going to get a little hairy for people that are, short that name and they're not getting any follow through. And now you're reclaiming those higher levels. You could see you could start to see a little bit of a squeeze. So, I mean, it would obviously take a lot of money to do that to this name. So, NVIDIA's number one. All right. It's not number one on the watch, but that's the first one we'll talk about. Let me get rid of this. Let me do this because I want to make sure I have an alert and know when we get back up into like just shy of 185. Bang. Okay. All right. Delta Airlines. So we'll go through some of the names that are moving, that were moving this morning in NVIDIA. You have Delta Airlines. They are up 4%. The airline previously called for growth between 5 to 7%. I am actually have a name that I am looking into this sector, bro. No, 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 no. Oh my God. I just hold on. Recently closed history. Recently closed. Dude, I'll worry about it later, but I don't like that. I just did something with my tabs and I'm trying to ungroup. There we go. All right. Okay. Delta Airlines. You can see a massive move here. Now, why would I watch this? It's because there's a decent move there. You're up at the 20-day. This is liquidity, right? If I want to make something out of a market that's not moving, I want to find news catalysts and things of the sort, right? And that's also going to help provide me opportunity, to be where the money is. Okay. I don't really have much here outside of the 20-day moving average. You're bumping into it. You have a little bit of a zone here. I would really like to look at that 100-day up there at 66, 65. You have prior lows, prior rejections up there. Um, if you can extend, maybe we look for a short off the 20-day. Let's see here. Let's go look. Let's just pull up the daily chart first. I want to get through this quick because I may not even trade this. Okay, so you have that earnings gap. Not earnings, but you have a gap up here. You have prior previous lows, 20-day rejections up there at 65. Yeah, 65 would honestly be previous high. So yeah, we'll see if you can get pullbacks into that 62 zone. Again, if you look at this and you're like, I don't like it. Okay, cool. Well, guess what? That's a 3.5, 4% down move. Just that's not even the prior day's high. Okay, so that's a nice move. That's a 3.5% move. Do you expect the SPY to move 3.5% today? Not that it can't, but I highly doubt the probabilities are that it doesn't. Okay, so we'll keep Delta Airlines up. I'll keep it on watch. You have a nice little double top up there, and they're also going through some issues there, which they're talking about it on the news right now. Created alerts. So we have Delta Airlines at and above. Let me write this down. So I have NVIDIA. I'm gonna write 165, 166 question mark short if doesn't reclaim. I know these. I know this in my head already, but and then we probably won't get this, but 64 rejections. Pen's dying. Get rid of that. I gotta clean my desk off. All right, that's 64 rejection. I'm gonna look for a target of 62. Obviously, take your money as you get paid. You have the 30. really like to be able to get on this trade there. Again, sorry, I have to move the mic. Let's see. If I don't get to your question real quick, good morning. Good morning. What's up, bud? If I don't get to your morning, it's only because I haven't seen it yet and I'm a little bit busy. Right, trying to get my watch list and everything going here. We're gonna look at the I've been watching them over the past week. I'm really upset at myself that I didn't buy more SanDisk. Just give me 1 second here. Oh shit, we have earnings, and we have earnings later on. Wait, so Oklo, which is going to be the next one, I got that down. OKLO. Oklo was on the scanner this morning, so I have to see why they are bouncing. They're going crazy. They were going crazy. Crazy. So Oklo secures an energy agreement. I have to do something really quick before this bell opens. It's 9:10. They secure an Energy Department agreement, Nuclear Regulatory Commission's isotope license. Okay. Carnival, Uber, Honeywell. Let's see. So trading higher after the company announced its U.S. Department of Energy and other transportation agreement to support the design, construct, and operation of a reactor under the Reactor Pilot Program. The U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission has issued a materials license to Oklo's subsidiary, Atomic Alchemy, to handle, processes, and distribute isotopes. Sweet. So it's now above the 20-day moving average, right now. Okay, give me 1 second, you guys.
Inference chips. Very clearly that Jensen offered an inference alternative that is better, that is cheaper, that is going to be able to blunt what these other guys have. Carl, right now people feel, wait a second, they don't need the really expensive Jensen chip. They can just go use what Google has. I think that was what was blunted. But people didn't want to go there because there was a fire hose of new product. I found myself scribbling. I was just scribbling, but finally I just you know what? I give up. I give up. I mean, an hour and a half in, I just said, oh, God, enough already. And
Jim, looking at the analyst commentary, trying to get back to this sort of $1 trillion number, many of them seem to be quite positive in part because they said the figure doesn't include a lot of sort of what they call, Ben writes, it says the new stuff. And Stacey Raskin, who's going to be a guest later in the show, also sort of saying the same thing in the sense of, there's things in the trillion that are not necessarily included that they expect will happen. So how are you reading that?
Well, I mean, on page 42 of my notes, I actually noted, you're absolutely right, the Grok 3 LPU. David, it's not in the numbers. The Grok, so isn't that the problem? The Grok 3 LPU, when you get that granular, most of the Wall Street money managers are saying, Grok 3 LPU, was that like something from Disney? Grok? No, it turns out there's Olaf from Disney was thrown in too. We are stymied. Okay, maybe Jensen is too smart, and the rest of us were Lilliputian. And they just don't get that he's offering new compute. He's offering premium inference. And what they're saying is, right. Go over that. I mean, I saw analysts. I saw analysts sleeping. I saw analysts. They're like.
They are. It also does go to the point of how quickly they're moving. It was Christmas Eve when I reported on that Grok deal. Can't say the word acquisition because it wasn't officially an acquisition. Right. But they immediately brought over the entire team, basically, of engineers, and the CEO of Grok as well became an NVIDIA employee. And they've already now got a roadmap to a lot of products that are going to benefit from the acceleration, the accelerator chip that Grok has, and therefore offer inference, I guess, cheaper and more efficiently, right? That's the whole story, isn't it, Jim?
Okay, so I wish you were out here because it's almost as if nobody got that that was a huge acquisition and it was immediately turned into something that could be put in the numbers in 3 months. I think if you had to talk about the most breaking news possible, it was Grok and how the Grok acquisition is now going to make it so that NVIDIA is the inference king. And
Right.
I mean, like, I left there thinking, what do people think that the king of? It was so disheartening. I was disheartened. Carl, that's the word. I was disheartened. I thought it was breakout, and I found myself thinking, wow, breakout.
They did throw a lot of information at us, Jim, yesterday, although Goldman's takeaway is basically that all of it should help calm concerns about what they're calling peak CapEx in 2026. We will get to all of it. There's news on Nebius today. There's news, of course, on OpenAI. There's some news on SK Hynix, Qualcomm. Futures improving a little bit here. We're back in a moment. Squawk on the Street.
Guys, watching crypto names. Crypto names, just gonna let you know, are going to be on watch today. All right, I am officially MSTR. Just getting everything. Rubric. Why is rubric RBRK? Okay, so that's not really doing anything other than selling all. Come on, hurry, dude. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something here. Oh. All right. So we have. Wait, I did that already, I think. Okay, so we have all the crypto. What I'm doing is I'm giving myself a list here, guys. And all right, so and the last one is Uber, Honeywell. What is Honeywell's ticker? HW. No, HM. This is crazy. HON. It's HON. HON. There we go. There we go. Honeywell. Okay, why is that in the news? Let me see here. Okay. All right, I gotta hurry up. Dude, this is all right. Apologies. All right, where were we? Aklo. All right, so Aklo. All right, Aklo. So I'm actually going to take this off. Other than I'm not going. How about this? I'm not going to take it off. But if I trade this, I'm only trading shares with Aklo. I'm only going to trade shares. I'm not trading premium unless I'm selling premium, and I'm not going to do that because you have a news catalyst that really changes things here. Okay, one stock that a lot of people may not be looking at that I'm going to look at today and see if we can get this. Lockheed Martin. Okay, the sector has been kind of in play. All right, sector's kind of been in play, and I want to look at this because we are at a major inflection point down here. Right, previous highs at 640, 639 zone. And I want to see if we can get a run a test back up into that 650 area. All right. So I'm going to be watching LMT, Lockheed Martin, and I'm going to get everything ready as of right now. Go with this. Let's see. I'll leave it right here. There we go. There we go. All right. I was also watching Walmart yesterday a little bit. There were a few things that I seen on it, but I've been waiting for this to pull back, and I want to see if we can get some more room. If Lockheed Martin may end up just chewing up a lot of time here, right? But I think if we can get a move, you've been sitting at this level for a bit now, and I want to see if we pull in today, and if this holds, right? Prior day's low, like right now, you're rejecting prior day's close, which is right up there at 645. But I would like to see if this holds again, and the sector can give us a little bit of a boost and like kind of put in a bottoming pattern here. Maybe you just bottom, and if you sit here today, right? We just sit in this zone at 640 to 645 today. I like this for a move, right? This is a really nice upside move, especially if you catch it in the right area. That's a little over 2.5% roughly, back up into that 20-day moving average, just shy of. But that's a 40, 50, 60 point move. So obviously the options will price that in already. Um, Yesterday's range from high to low was 660 to 639. I'm sorry, Friday. That was Friday. But the thing here is if we can catch this right, I'd like to see if we can get a run a test back into 680. I'd like to get back up into that zone. Okay. So Lockheed Martin is on my watch list. All right. USO looks like it is still pulling in. Let me do this. Let me get rid of this. Let's go here. All right. Just want to make sure I don't miss anything if there's anybody that has any questions or take so much time doing like side quests on the live stream that it starts to mess with me. You do have a pretty nice setup here with energy, and things are starting to shift negative. If we go look at /CL, all right, if we go look at crude, you're going to see from yesterday this previous pivot low right here. And now we're under it. Tried to reclaim it yesterday. And that was also, it's not Friday's high, but you have this like Thursday's high that was like, anyway, that's how I'm looking at this. I'm watching this zone. Now, the question is, does 95 hold? As of right now, it's kind of giving it up. And if we give this up, we got a little bit of room to the downside. Question is you can get news to reverse this thing on a dime. Okay, you can get news and reverse this on a dime. Oil price spike puts Bank of Canada rate increase in play. Okay, cool. All right, let's get ready. We got 5 minutes. I have to hurry up and do this. I have no time. So keep your eyes on energy. So Uber gained 3.9%. So both Uber and NVIDIA expanded their partnership on self-driving vehicles, with Uber pledging to launch an expansive fleet of robo-taxis enabled by NVIDIA's Drive platform by 2028. Cool. I don't really see, I mean, I thought that's always been a thing. Okay, so look, ABIT, if I say that wrong, I apologize. I think that's a L. Elbit Systems jumped 6.5% after defense contractor reported better than expected earnings and revenue for the fourth quarter. Let me go see what that ticker is real quick. Again, that sector's been doing okay. ESLT. ESLT. We have 3 minutes. I need to move it on over. Again, I want to say thank you for showing up. If you have any questions, don't be shy. Nice bounce. You're coming into some resistance up there. Let's go look at this daily chart. Your fertilizer names. So fertilizer, memory. Okay, some of your defensive names. Let's see what this is at real quick. Look at this daily chart again, right? This is why it's also on my watch. Nobody's really talking about it. And that's kind of when you want to be on these things. You just have to watch that 20-day moving average. You're trying to reject it and that 9 EMA. But if we continue to hold here, I think we get just a nice little fill the gap. I can at least get a bounce into that 660, fill the gap, maybe make new highs, quite possibly. So we'll see what happens there. Delta Airlines, again, let's watch this. See if we get a bounce back up into that zone. Looks like we're going to. Let me get rid of this. Okay, I want to wish everybody good luck today. American Airlines expects over 10% revenue growth in its first quarter. Delta American give first update since the Iran war, why airline stocks are soaring. Okay, whatever. Strong demand offsetting higher costs. Okay. So we have NVIDIA. We have to watch SNDK. I'm very, very frustrated with myself that I did not buy some down here when I told myself I needed to, because that zone, if you see how that line is like, see how it's like thicker than all the rest? That was my key zone I was looking for down here to buy more. I think this is a $1,200 stock, $800 to $1,200 stock. This earnings has just been, don't forget about the earnings call that we just had, right? This thing is not, in my opinion, I think it's a $800 to $1,200 stock. They do a stock split. That's just my opinion, and that run is happening, and it started Friday or last week. and I'm really frustrated with myself that I did not get any on Monday of last week. I mean, listen, guys, I own some. I've been trading around the core with this too, right? Every dip I've been buying and I've been selling. So I've been trading it, I've been holding some, but this key level down here, I was just frustrated as hell. I didn't get any, and I knew it, right? Going it last week, this thing was on a tear. All right, let me turn this down before the bell breaks our ears. Maybe we get a double top up here and you pull it back in. Maybe we can get a pullback in the 640, 660. Good luck today. If you have questions, please post them below. Don't be shy. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let's have a great day. Make the right decisions. Okay? Make the right decisions. Change your life and your family's life and the people around you. Okay? There's no reason why you can't. Again, if you have any questions, don't be shy. The reason I'm doing this is, for all of us to be able to benefit. Myself, I can go back and watch, right? We can talk together about things that are moving. No. Big news. Okay. All right. First mark, guys. Delta Airlines, XOM now. So things are happening. XOM, Delta Airlines, right up into that zone. I listen. I'm going to log out and log back in because I already know they're going to screw me, and because I haven't done anything, they're going to shut it off. Unplug that. And again, I'm using my phone because if I have two brokers, scanners, the live stream, OBS, all these things, things are going to just get screwed up. So that's why I'm using my phone to just place my orders. Come on, please just hurry the hell up. In case anybody was wondering, it's just a lot easier, and I don't have to worry about my computer just acting like a pain in the ass. All right, SLV was also on watch here too. I wanted to look for the long here on SLV. All right, so Delta Airlines back up there. DAL. Let's go look at Bing. STK or STX. STX is going, guys. STX is going here. You have nice support. This could be a nice long here. Buying the shares wouldn't be a bad idea either if you have the money. Or look at if you can't afford to buy the shares, you probably don't have enough money for the options, right? Your risk is going to be, you're going to be doing, in my opinion, you'd be putting yourself in a tough position if you can't afford to trade. Don't if you can't afford to trade those higher names, don't do it. Okay, don't do it. Because what's going to happen is like if you don't have enough money, you're going to lose so much that, you know, say you got $1,000, I'm just saying, right? You're going to trade a stock or an option that's $400. You really want that 50% volatility? You really want to risk losing half of your, a quarter of your account to nearly half if you don't manage your risk and buy right, know what you're doing. So please make sure you are keeping in mind the volatility of your portfolio, of your amount. You got 10 grand, 20 grand, 100 grand. Make sure within that risk limit. All right. CFLT. Let's see here. Trending now. Go here. So Adobe and them are still trending, and that's not. I feel like these are all the names from last week. What the fuck? Hold on. I guess that's what's trending. I'm just gonna leave that there. Netflix is also one watch for me. So XOM taking out that level. See, things are starting to get slow because the scanners are going crazy. I have to clean some stuff out of my computer, clean my computer, and kind of get it back to par. It's been great to me. Netflix is something I've been watching. I missed the long on that yesterday morning on that pullback, but I am watching Netflix to see if we can get a possible, break back out and test of these highs. I would really like that. So the NQ or the ES right now is up into this zone up here where you have previous support levels. All right. Previous support. I did not look at the data this morning. Industrial production month over month, 0.2, right in line with expectations. New York manufacturing, Empire State Manufacturing Index, negative 2.0. Let's see here. We have a 3-month, 6-month bill. Fed purchase 4 to 12 months, manufacturing year over year. So we don't really have much. Wait. That was yesterday. I hate when it does this. All right, STX is still hanging out above that 400 zone. Delta Airlines is just hanging out at its resistance zone. Um, so I want to take this. I do. I want to take this up here. But again, I feel like this is the better zone to get rejections. It's up there at 66. So I might just go for it and see what happens here. You've rejected it twice now up there. Shit. It's not showing me what I want. I feel like I'd be fighting the trend, and I'm, you know, eh. That is a major support level right there at 62. It is like 62. Yeah, 62.50. That major level that you could look for a rejection as up is up there around 65. I just think it would be nice to get this thing to pull in some. Time in sales. What's today? I hate that they've been adding in so many like weekly Wednesday contracts now. You have to be careful. Okay, so they're obviously not doing it for these. All right. I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna miss this. I'm gonna worry about the data later. Um, so we had ADP employment. Change was 9,000. New York Fed services. Blah blah. I don't care about it right now. Sorry. All right. NQs above prior day's high. You have some very nice volume this morning bouncing, guys. I was wondering if we were going to start to get a pump going into Powell's last day or possibly last Fed meeting. You still have to be careful in this zone, okay? It's like I'm going to tell you right now on the QQQ. 604 to 606, that entire zone. You're holding 604 right now though. So, next level I'd watch for is 606. 606, I'd like to look for a pullback. You probably pull it in off of here, but we'll see. I'm not going to fight the trend. Okay, now if I want to be short, what do I what names do I want? Let's see. Mm, 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 mm. Dude, there's like no fucking volume on these. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy. I don't like that there's no volume on these. Dude, this is not good. There's no volume. There's no volume on these. I'm going to be patient. I'm being patient here. So that's a pretty nice gap fill you have there. Dude, like it's showing only 23. Like I'm going to make up half the fucking volume. I don't like this cuz I don't want to get stuck in it. If I can get it cheap enough. Come on, break through it. I'm actually going to bring down the size, guys, of this. I wish this would drop. Okay, looks like they dropped. Unless, oh no, I have NVIDIA up there. Shit. Sorry, I had NVIDIA options up there. Just going to be a little patient here. I'm going to throw out a limit order. See what happens. Paying a little bit more than I want to. It's more, I knew it wasn't going to get filled. Right? We'll see if we can just scale into this. All right, I got to go look around real quick because let me see if I got filled here. No. Shit. I knew it. I was trying to raise my order right there. Okay. All right, I'm going for it. I'm just going to raise it up. They still don't want to fill me, guys. There's not. Oh, that's why. Damn it. Look, do you see how I changed it? And I was like, all right, give it to me. And they just flipped the script there. I knew it. They're going to start jumping up here. It's okay. If I can't get it for the right price, I'm okay. I'm just going to leave it here. All right. I have a limit order out. We'll see if. Dude, I don't like this. Dude, did they fill me? They should fill me. Like, there's no volume. This is why I don't like this. Like, there's no volume on this at all. And I don't like that. I don't know how people are not trading this. There's other names that I want to watch. They're not filling me. I have a limit order at 90, 95, 97, 93. So they're just sitting at 96. I have an order at 96, but it's not filling it. Like, it's not. Look at Thinkorswim. It's not even showing you the bids. Look at this. That's wrong. They're not. This is why I don't like Thinkorswim's time and sales. You can't trust it at all. You can't trust it. Dude, they do not want to fill me. You know what? You see how hard it was to get in? Imagine how hard it's going to be to get out. Okay? So, there's just no volume, bro. It sucks. So I don't like this, man. I think it could make for a nice trade. But all right, STX. I'm gonna move away from there. So STX taking its good old time. Let's go check in on NVIDIA. Okay. I really did that. Let's get rid of all this stuff here. All right, so it's going for another round. Back up to the upside here. I would love to see SNDK pull off at the highs up here. See that? There it is. So that's pulling in. Let's go over to the Qs. All right, so the Qs are coming up into 606, and I got to be honest, unless this is going to just get out of hand, 606 is a really nice level. I wouldn't be surprised if you get a pullback off of 606, and you could target like 602 or so. Again, understand what's going on here. They're buying, so don't. I would keep a tight stop. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But any bounces in the 606, I wouldn't mind looking for a pullback into 603, 602. All right, so now you're above your 20-day moving average. Okay, so here's what we said. It's like, yeah, 606. That was that prior day's high, prior day's low right here, 606. Okay, and I would target more than likely to see if you get a pullback back into like this zone here. All right, that's almost about a percent move. Look at that. That's beautiful. Look at that. You are above your 20-day moving average, so be careful. You could just, you start to hold this level here. If you get above it and hold it, you just have your 20-day and everything right there. So be mindful. Be mindful. Just feels like this is a good spot, and it already pulled in there. This feels like a good spot to pull into off of that zone. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to rush my trades yet, man. I want to see it. I want to see what it needs to do before I do anything. I'm not just throwing my money at the wall. Okay. So those contracts are down now. Maybe I'll be interested in grabbing some. Let's see. Let's see what the volume is. Still the volume. Okay, the volume's getting better. The volume is getting better on Delta. XOM pulled in. Prior day's close. Look at that. It's also getting ready to looks like it's going on a run. I think XOM has a ways it could go here, guys. Like I wouldn't mind swing trading this, to be honest with you. Let me go check in real quick. Okay, so Lockheed is right down here into this zone. Okay, you're right into that zone at 640. You had it looks like a wick. I wasn't watching it at the time. But again, like I said, if we could stay right in here, I would look to see if we could get some upside moves. But XOM, okay, I wouldn't mind this if it can hold. It looks like it's trying to retract. So I'll keep my eye on it. I want to make sure that it's going to give it to me. So we have NVIDIA. All right, NVIDIA pulling back in. Okay, I'm going to look at real quick. All right, I want this trade now. All right, I want this. I might be forcing it, but come on. There's more volume in there now. Come on. Look at Nvidia, or not Nvidia, but look at Netflix here, guys. You're above Monday's high, okay? You're above Monday's high, and you're pulling into Monday's high. You're starting to break above that level. Look at this. I would keep your eyes on this. The volume's a little shady, but look at this. So there's your prior day's high, right? You're breaking out to a new weekly high. If you guys could, please hit the like button. All right. Maybe share this with a friend. Help us, get a little bit of notoriety so people, have a place to go to. I don't ask for any money. If you guys make any money with me and you want to give back, that's cool, right? Um, I think that's pretty fair. If you guys get back to the stream, that if you guys make some money with me. If not, like, subscribe, share. I do my part, do your part. That's all. That's how this world works. And there it is, guys. Look at that, above the 100-day. Now Netflix is trying, see if it can get some momentum here. It just, in my opinion, it just stinks that the Qs are right, in my opinion, at a little bit of a rejection zone that's possible. I mean, it's not a rejection zone, but it's a support. It's Friday's high. It's right up there around Friday's pre-market high. And so here's that pullback on the Qs. Looks like you could be coming in now. Come on, Delta. I want this thing lower, bro. This thing's starting to piss me off. They're not feeling me. I don't like this, and I'm trying my best to just meet in the middle. And the fact that they're not feeling me, the fact that they're not feeling me makes me, a little suspicious because I feel like I could get stuck into this, and I don't want to get stuck. But again, there's news. Again, I'm looking for a pullback into like that 662, 63 zone. And if I could get that, you know, with it being Tuesday, we could have a nice little trade on our hands. Unless it's just going to go higher and higher. It could do that as well. Just watching. So we came up, we filled the gap. This sucks. I'm going to cancel it. I don't listen, the longer it stays up here, the higher the probability you start to just climb higher anyway. So if I can't get in it for the right price, I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm not, let me just make sure that I'm not filled, even though I canceled it. You always want to make sure that, you know. Okay, watch list again. So we have Lucky Martin, NVIDIA, Delta, XOM. We got to watch some of these memory names. Let's go take a look at the. All right, BIAF pulling in. Let's go look at the daily on here. Looks like BIAF, right? I was targeting this morning that $4 area. It's just not, in my opinion, it's not moving much here. I mean, it is, but I don't know. With these stocks, anything less than $3 to $4, it's a little hard for me to get excited about it and not feel like, because again, I'm already fighting getting into Delta Airlines, and then I go to do something like this, and then I'd wait for a pullback on BIAF. That's what I would do. If you think you can get $4, then I would look for a pullback into $2 if you can get that again, like $2.30, and then look for that bounce into $4. And look, your 9 EMA is starting to come up into that area anyway now. Let's go check out Amazon. Go ahead, go up through there and fail. Dude, I keep trying for this, and it's gonna bite me in the ass. Oh, it's okay. I know why. It's St. Patrick's Day. Go ahead. Let's get these a lot cheaper. Come on. See, they should have filled me. Should have filled me, but let's go see what the volume is now on these. Now that you're back up above there. Still very low. You can see the sellers are really trying to sell the 6250. Let's take a look at the IWM going crazy, going bananas. All right, QQQ starting to pull in off of that 606 level, okay? 606 is starting to pull in on the Qs. Right, there's your 20-day. What I say, we would look for that pull in and see if you get like 602. So what time is it? It's only 9:57. Holy shit. Holy crap. Feels a lot longer than that. So we're getting that pull in here. I'd wait for a 15-minute pullback. Not that I want to go long right this second, but I think let's go look at. All right, so Netflix failed that previous high. Energy trying to rise again here. So the ES is popping its head above there, above 680. Again, I'm going to be patient, you guys. I'm not in a hurry to take something unless I see it. Like I think that that could be a nice little scalp on the cues, but it just, I don't, I don't think all the momentum's to the upside, not the downside right now. Keep an eye on STX. All right, STX here. All right, STX is still green on the day, and um, it's just consolidating. What else is on my watch list? What else do we have here? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Um, let me see. So Uber, strong. Look at that pull in on Uber right here. Look at that. Previous highs, 76. Boom. Nice job. If you grab that, congratulations. Beautiful trade there. Somebody did. That's a beautiful setup right there, guys. That's a beautiful setup. Next I would look for pullbacks in the 78 prior highs and target 80 bucks. So the ES pulling in, it's above Monday's highs. Maybe you look for Monday's highs as the pull-in area. Delta still struggling up here. There's no volume in the options right now for whatever reason. It's got a news catalyst. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is not. There goes XOM. XOM is making new highs. It's on lower volume there. This was on the watch list this morning. Look at that. Beautiful V bottom. Wow. Beautiful. Again, I think it goes higher. I do. Shit. All right. LMC not holding up. That's okay. It's all right. It's already up a lot, but I still think it's just my opinion here. I think it holds up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's okay. Let's see here. USO trying to bounce again. I have an alert up here. This is the zone I was watching up here at 120 on USO. Let's run a quick check in on CL. Delta Airlines is still right around. They've upped the bids on those puts. We've been looking at the what the hell? We've been looking at the 96 puts. So there's your pull in. All right, so here you go. I talked about this a little bit ago. Yesterday, a little support area. It broke. You retested it. You tried to get back above it. today or early pre-market. You tried to get back above it, right? Bink, 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 failed, reject, boom. And now you're working your way back up to that zone. See what happens here at 96. All right, keep an eye on news, all that fun stuff. Matter of fact, let me turn it on just so anything happens, we are on it.
So just note for BA Boeing, as the executives are presenting here at this conference, we are just seeing a bit of downside in their shares.
Let's go check out Boeing. Oh my God. I hate that they're doing this. Now they're starting to do it on Boeing. What?
And a bit more from Boeing. It says it's on pace to complete the 737 MAX 10 flight testing by mid-year.
I hate that they've been doing this. This is crazy, man. I got to go through all these time frames and get rid of it. This is such bullshit. I hate that they're doing this. Like, this takes out so much time. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't do this station. I can't. Oh my God, I can't do this. Ah, come on, let's go. All right, Delta's pulling in here off of 64. Come on, the clock is working against us now. Clock is working against us. All right, Boeing's pulling in. Come on, man. Like, let's start getting this pullback here. Come on. So, U.S. pending home sales year over year, 0.8%, previously 0.4.
And more from Boeing's CFO says Boeing is building 5 of its 777 family jets per month.
And there it goes. It's starting to pay now, guys. If you got the short on Delta, good job. It is what it is, man.
Just a bit of
Sometimes
calendar update from the
tough when
UK.
you
The
get
Chancellor
into
says
it.
the government will publish its
I'm
steel
okay with if I
strategy
can't get it.
on Thursday.
If I can't get it at the price that I want it and need it at, then I don't want it at all. That's okay. I'm okay not getting on it. Okay, let's so NVIDIA selling off here. Let's go NVIDIA pull back or Qs. I wouldn't mind a sell off and a pullback into this 180 area. That looks like a really nice support level on NVIDIA.
And Boeing CFO expects 500 737 deliveries this year.
It's not going to. Come on, come on. All right, STX is trying now. STX is trying. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm going through different time frames. So you have names like Morgan Stanley doing pretty good this morning, Goldman Sachs. I hate all these wick. Look at all these wick lows. Look at these little bills down here, 25. That's crazy, bro. There's something going on behind the scenes for that shit. And I'd love to know why. All right, let's look at the Dow real quick. This is a nice setup right here. You have these previous highs. See if you get that pull in there at 472 on the Dow. All right, and if you hold that, you have some pretty clear upside room to 478 ish. Okay, that would be my target. Yeah, previous lows. Watch 476, but I think this is more of an area here, up into that area. And I say that because look at Goldman Sachs. It's got the same exact setup happening right now. Right? It's got the same exact head from what I can see. Right? See if we can get this pull in here and see if we can get it to hold. Again, if you guys have any tickers you guys are watching, or any questions or anything, throw them in the chat. Don't be shy. Let's see here. Pull this in. Pull this in. You guys could as well hit the like button. I haven't done that either. Appreciate it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so we have OKLO. All right, pulled in. We talked about, that resistance area up there this morning, and that, if you were able to hold the 20-day, you may get that move to 70, but you have earnings after hours, right? You have earnings after hours. Delta Airlines, those puts are
And a bit more
paying
here
off. You are
from
in the
BA
green.
Boeing. They will be delivering
Again,
around 15
volume
of
is
its
something you have
787
to watch.
Dreamliners in Q1.
Okay, we were targeting the 63 puts in between 93 to 96, 97 cents. Okay, you're at $1.09, $1.20. The volume's rising. It's still only 157 from what I see right now. It's not, I don't like that. And I feel like that's why you're not getting much of a move. But it should, right? Because it'll start, there's a news catalyst there, which is going to bring, money, volatility, the things that we need. I just, it's just, I think you get a nice little pullback here. I think you should at least get another 45.
And more
or
from
40,
Boeing.
50
CFO
cents.
expects
I don't see why
47
you
jet
can't
rate
get another
by end
test
of
of
the
60
year.
rate.
They say wiring
If you
impacted
don't,
737
then expect
jets
this
to go
20-day
through
moving
some
average to
rework.
break,
They expect
and
to
you're
deliver
going to look for
120
65 to give you the
737s in
upside play.
Q1.
Not that that's a trade. Okay, not that that upside is a trade. I'd much rather catch this downside than anything else. And I just, there's no volume in it. So there's nothing I can do about that. All right, you pulled in, you're going to fill this gap on the 15-minute chart at the bottom left. You gapped up, you filled the gap here, okay? You filled the gap, and now you're pulling in to fill the other side of the gap, I guess you could say. That's it, right there. Clear as day. Clear as day. Right there, guys. There's your gap. Okay, you also have your 20-day moving average in there. Look, $1.36 on the ask. All right, you still have some room here. You should at least get it down into here at 62.48, 62.50-ish. There's no reason why you can't get this, but you're going to get a bounce back and then the rejection. So we'll see what the options are at that price and see if it brings in more volume, or it's just going to limit down. It's just going to keep pulling in, and it's going to just not let anyone get the entry again. You have this initial morning low, right? You have that initial morning low here as well to keep your eye on. Maybe you look for that if we can get some more volume in this thing. The volume is just trash. That's like, look, I mean, you got 200 now, but like I said this morning, I was literally half. My position size was literally half of the volume. And I'm like, I can't do that. You know, you're going to struggle to get in. You're going to struggle to get out. If you want to, if you want to market order in and market order out, cool, go ahead. But I need things for a price that I want to pay, right? There's only, if I couldn't get it for 93, 96 cents, I don't want it. Why? Because if I get $1 move,
For
I
UBS
know I
GSW,
have
CFO
30
says
cents left
the bank is comfortable with its exposure to private
roughly,
credit.
because we
They
were up
expect
here at
AI
like
to be disruptive to wealth
64,
management.
64.10.
Says UBS
All
CFO,
right, and if I pay 90
comfortable with
cents on a
exposure to private
63, my
credit.
target was down here at pre-market lows at 62.80. See, I did all that like without saying it, and that's why I chose the option price. There's nothing I can do about the volume. I need to put
And just
myself
a
on
bit
the
more on
options
the
board
EU-US trade
where it's
front
going to
today.
pay me.
Headlines
And
suggest the EU will be restarting the process to ratify the US
there's
trade
a reason
deal
why I do
after
things.
the blocks.
That's all.
Again, earlier we did have some reports that they
I
were
pay 90
expected to vote
cents
on the
for a
US
$1.20
EU
move.
trade
What does
pact
that leave
later
me?
this week.
At worst,
And the latest reporting also
aside from
suggests
time,
that that will be
I
a
should at least
Thursday
have,
vote. Again, very much
about 30
in
cents
keeping
left
with
on
some of
that
the reports that we
contract.
had earlier. But be aware, they are just hitting other
30
news wires at
cents
the
on
moment, so
90,
you could see some
it's about
potential follow through.
40%, 35%. That's at the least. Okay, that's at the least. You still have time, right? We're not even factoring in the time part to this. But that type of stuff takes time to get to, right? To be able to do that stuff and just kind of go quick. STK guys is going. STX, I mean STX. All right. ES pulling in. QQQ. We got that pullback off of the 606. Okay, and you're pulling into 603. That was our target. 603, 602. All right, 606 to 603, 602-ish. STX is really going now. All right, I'm going to look for a pullback on the 15-minute time frame. Just watch. You're longing into prior day's high. Just keep that in mind. Okay, you're longing into prior day's high here at 410. So what I'll do is we'll go over here. Let me fix this real quick. All right, USO, DAL. What else do we have? What else did we have on watch? I'm not trading Oklo yet because they have earnings tonight. But Oklo will be on the watch list. Oh, Netflix. Netflix did not hold. Hold up. Okay, so you have some nice momentum here. Volume is picking up. It's not great, but it's not bad. So watch prior day's high. I'm going to put a dotted line up here. All right, because we want pullbacks. We want to see a higher low get put in here. Now, if we go look at this, here's your
And
initial
more from
morning
Boeing,
high.
it's planning to raise 787
All right,
output
here's
to
your
10
initial
jets
morning
per
high.
month later in
You
2026.
double top there.
Says
You
Boeing
have
says the
broke
supply
out,
chain is
you pulled
tighter at
in. What's your
737
next
rates
level?
beyond
You'll
47
probably
a
look for
month.
this previous low here, which it's already been tested. If you think about it, right? Why? Look at this candle right here. It already pulled into it. So, and you pulled in there already. So I'd look for another pullback here in the 408. The bigger level would be this like double top ish. Looks like a little bit of a cup, you could say. All right, you have this little base put in at this level. All right, which is right around prior day's close. You pulled into prior day's close, held it. I got to be honest. This would be the level I'd be looking for. Right, look, it's not going to let you in. They're starting to squeeze this thing now. Okay, it's on, guys. It's on. Look at that blast through prior day's high. Let's see here, though. Is this a trick to suck people in? Okay, and to flip it and reverse it on them. Oh, and you know, emotionally, people are like, oh, I got to get in. I got to get in. Got to get in. Just like NVIDIA yesterday. We want to see this thing solidify the move. We're not fools here. Be smart money, okay? There's a lot of things that I see already that would tell us we at least at the most get a consolidation here. I don't know what the short interest is on this. I don't know if it's a lot or I don't know what it is. So it would be something to look at if you could find the information, okay? Because we could start to get a little squeeze here. I said it like same thing for NVIDIA. If you got back above 65, 66 on NVIDIA. All right, let's check this out here. And we are sorry to keep flipping things. I'm just looking at everything that I can here to give me. So you're putting in this 15-minute chart here. That's good. Boom. I mean, it's not confirming. It is confirming it. Can't look at that. But we just put in a new high of the week. And it's kind of technically not confirming it. But I'm not going to read so much into that as far as prior day's high. All right, let's see this pull in here. Let's look for this pull in and see what happens. It's already up 3%. Normally, what's important, we want to know what is the ATR roughly. We want to have an idea how much this thing moves on days where it's like mediocre and days when it really moves. You know, you have these candles here on really volatile days. 397 was your low. 453 was your high. That's a $60 move. Okay, same thing for up here. Right? 459.80, call it 460. The opening price, which was the low, was 425. 30, 40, 50, 60. That's $40. All right, so a lower day, I'd imagine probably $20. Let's see, low 393, call it 395. 415. 5. So yeah, about $20. Right now, you have from low to high, we're at 397.50, 312. So 397.50, call it 395. No, that would be 395. 97. 407 would be 10. So right now, you still should have, if this thing is really going to give us a little bit of volatility here, and it's going to be a play, we should at least have $10 more left on this play. We've put in a little over $10. Okay. On a mediocre day, this thing does $20. 350, 380, 60, 70, 80. That's 30. All right, that's 30. These past couple of days here, you know, it's putting in $15, $20. 375, 392.
And a bit more from Boeing CFO. They are
85.95.
mulling
That's
a
$20.
freighter version of the 787
Oh,
aircraft in the future.
Don't do this. Pull in, please. I think we can, man. We're making
Just
new
beware, looks like
highs
some
on the
commentary
break
from
of a
NVIDIA's
prior
chief
high.
Huang. He is speaking to CNBC. Says growth is accelerating at larger scale with an inflection of
All right.
inference.
Look for this
And this does
pullback,
come
guys.
amid
This
their
is a good
GTC
sign.
event
This is
where
a
he
really good
gave a lot of
sign.
comments late yesterday. So we're not really expecting anything too new here.
Keep your stops
Huang
tight.
says
We're here
growth is
to
accelerating at a
manage
larger
risk,
scale
first and
with
foremost.
inflection of
All right. First and
inference.
foremost, manage risk. All right. Look for this pullback here. Take a breather. Take a breather. All right. Qs are bouncing. That had a nice bounce off that prior day's VWAP, which is a good sign as
And
well.
NVIDIA's chief says growth accelerating at a larger scale.
Let's see, 17. What is? Let me see the calendar. So it is the 20th for Friday. Again, buy the shares, guys. If you can't afford the contracts, you
And
probably
just going
can't
back
afford
to
the
BA
shares.
Boeing,
If you can't
CFO
afford the
sees
shares,
higher
you can't
capex
afford the
this year and
contracts.
next year. Says jet certification and development still pressure on cash. As BA CFO, shares have been under a bit of pressure when he's been presenting. Now he's flagging higher capex this year and next. Says that the jet certification and development is still a pressure on its cash levels.
Man, the volumes on these are low as hell too. Volumes are low as hell. There's only 4 contracts on the 41250s. Look at this. You guys can see it. Look at that. Damn, look at that spread. That's a $300 spread there for each contract. 920 to 12. Holy shit. This could be good. You could probably just make money right off of the spread. Got to watch the volume there. I've got most of the volume down there at the 420s. All right, this says 143. Yeah, I got 143 as well over here. You have a lot of volume on the 450s. I'm not going out that far though. This is crazy. So it looks like the 420s. Okay, and we've already see we practically opened up at 400. So 420 shouldn't be that bad. Listen, what I want to see is I want to see this thing go higher, and I want to look for a pullback on the 15-minute
And just a
chart.
bit
So I
more
will look at the
geopolitics.
420
Israel's Channel 12,
calls.
citing a source, says the main goals remain, which are to strike the missile system and the nuclear program and create conditions for changing the Iranian regime.
What? Hold on. Listen to what they're saying. So Boeing's thinking about a freighter version of the 787 here in the future. So they're going to be bringing on a new plane.
And a bit more from CNBC, speaking with NVIDIA chief, we have high confidence visibility of the $1 trillion of Blackwell and Rubin. And this does come after his remarks yesterday, where he sees $1 trillion worth of sales for those units.
Should have been in
We
this
have
earlier,
high
guys.
confidence visibility for that $1 trillion of Blackwell and Rubin.
Come on, pull it in. I'd like to see if we could chew up a little bit of time. I don't want to chew up that much, but I mean, I don't know. I could see it going both ways. I'd be okay with both ways, with like a little bit of a consolidation and or like an extension here because it's going to start. It's going to start sending everything continuously to the upside here, and I'm cool with that. That's what we want to see. I'm trying to like. I'm just watching it right now. We're above prior day's high. So far, so good. We have a very nice increase in volume on the break above prior day's high. That also tells us the probability that that holds is more likely now. All right. I just want to see this 15-minute candle close here. It's closing in 2 minutes. All right. So let's see here. The Qs pulled in a prior day's high as well. It's holding. Qs are trying to extend. Nice volumes backing up the move, which is always good to see. Right. So I'm trying to stack on. Do I have enough here to be long? So far, the way I'm talking, I do. Why would I be short? Well, we're a bit extended. That doesn't mean that it's a short, right? So that's why I say you could just chew up some time here. All right, 680. So I'm going to look at the 420 calls. Okay. The bids have already came down. The question is there enough contracts to keep this, to be able to let me get in and out? All right, something's going on here. Look, 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 look. Say something's going on, guys. That's why I'm looking for that 15-minute pullback. See, that's important here. Not 10:29. You're getting that 15-minute close. That's why I was waiting. Something's going on. What's going on here? What's going on? What's the news? What is the news? Hold up. Was there any news there? Let me find out. I think this is just an important area, guys. The volume's coming in. Volume is coming in. Let me see. Oil. So oil's also pulling. That's starting to reject a little bit here. Come on. I think it was just an algorithm there with the time. Look, oh man, that's not a good sign. You guys don't want to see that. All right, looks like we might start to get our pullback here. Look, they pulled up the bids on the calls for the 420 calls, and they lowered the ask. They tightened the spread and they raised the price. Right? They it's kind of like enticing people to get in and lose their money. Because I think you could start to see a pullback here. Not that I don't like this. Look at
Folks,
that
I
volume
just
that
want
came
to
in here.
highlight some comments from the Chancellor over here. She says that in the UK, of course, we share a need with the EU for greater economic resilience. Where it is in our national interest to align with EU regulation, the UK should be prepared to do so. Options we would look at include areas of the EU single market. Some comments there from the UK Chancellor.
Okay.
And Reeves estimates that the Brexit hit on GDP could be as much as 8%. She does add that regulatory autonomy from the EU should be the exception, not the norm.
All right. Let's see. Again, I want to thank anybody that's here. I know it's probably boring. It's whatever. Let's see. Let's go see what MU is doing. SNDK. Let's go look and see what these memory names are doing. Again, so far no
And the
trades been
Chancellor in
made.
the
I
UK
didn't
calls for a
really
framework with
trade
the EU to
yesterday
keep
either.
building the
This one,
relationship without constant renegotiation.
SNDK 450 here. Look at this 452 zone. If you hold and extend, break through that, or that's Micron. I apologize. That's Micron. Um, Look at that. Look, they just raised them to 900. Let me go back. Let me go. Another stock that I think needs time to set up a new trade. Look at that 423 Fibonacci retracement. You're seeing a lot of names here that like the trade setups are kind of done. You're at that four. They four times themselves practically. That 400 mark on the Fibonacci retracement. You have it on Apple, you have it on Microsoft, you have it on a lot of these names, and you're seeing them kind of top. So I think a lot of these names need to put in new setups here. Okay. Let me go back. STX. Let's focus on STX here. Delta Airlines again and see where those 63 puts are. The volume's trying to go up, but you're not. If you could have got in at $1 and you could get out at $1.25, that's 25%. But the volume is pathetic, unfortunately. Looks like a no trade day for me. Looks like it's going to be that. Again, decision making is the most important thing into this, you know. This is the most important factor is your decision making. It's why people fail, why people have hard times. I'm not perfect. I don't say this to say that I'm perfect because I'm not. But as long as I put that in my head, it keeps me safe, keeps me grounded. Let's go check out XOM real quick. Give STX a little bit of time. XOM, pulled in there roughly around that pre-market high, okay, and it's making new highs. Making new highs. So you're seeing names like BP, right? Shell, BP, all making new highs. All making new highs. This thing's on a tear, guys. Holy hell. This thing is on a tear. You're coming into resistance up there at $45. Come on, man. All right, so this whole sector here that I was looking at with Lockheed Martin, it's mixed. You have a few names green, like Rocket Labs. This is something I was looking at yesterday, and if this plays out, oh, look, it broke out. Oh, shit, it broke out today. Damn it. Look at this consolidation. Look at that tight price action here. That is a... Was there news with this? I have to use the restroom real quick. We'll throw in some CNBC. So Cantor Fitzgerald reiterates overweight, maintains an 85 price target. Firefly launches Lockheed Martin into space. Firefly. Huh? So Firefly is up. That was yesterday. Let's go look at ASTS also. Looks like I may not have anything because the later it gets, guys, the later I'm not, the more I'm not gonna. Hold up, look at this. I want to move.
And just
this.
note for US airlines and airports, a TSA official says the administration could be forced to shut down smaller airports if government funding standoff continues.
All right, ASTS.
Of the Chicago. That's how he views NVIDIA. After the break, airline stocks flying higher here in early trade. Find out why next. Plus, the market impact of an ongoing Iran conflict from a new warning out of Honeywell to how it could be changing the Fed's rate path. We're going to talk about all the different spillover effects when we come back.
All right. It's gonna be one of those days for me where, just like yesterday, patience. Let me see here. What do we have? So Costco is up 3 points. Oh, you know what I forgot about, guys, and I didn't write it down was Bitcoin. Did not write down Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is bouncing right into that prior. Let's go pull it up real quick so you guys can see it. Let's go look at BTC futures. All right. This thing's going crazy again. All right. You have these previous highs up here. Right. Prior day's high up there, it's 74.5, 74.4, 74.5, depending on what platform you're using. Or like, like if I look at it on like TradingView versus E-Trade versus this, like, some have the lines up here at 74.6. This one has the 74.5. Anyway, it's your prior resistance level up here. So let's keep an eye on Bitcoin here. And it's trying to go positive, which is a good sign. It's a very good sign. It's still negative. It's still negative. I take that back. I take it back. Now, the reason I have this line here is obviously you can see previous highs. Previous highs. All right. So this was Monday's low. Let's see, Tuesday you gapped up, tried to bounce, you rejected it. I would look for this like 74.6. I would look for that level right there. I'm going to make it a dotted line because this is where you failed, right? That was yesterday's high. You got above it. You put in a double bottom, right? You put in this double bottom here on a 15-minute time frame or whatever time frame you want to use, right? There's one right there, and then there's two right there. Bink, and then you extended. That extended got taken back, and you could not reclaim it. Reject, reject, reject. Now you're running back up to test it. If you get back above it, then I would say, okay, maybe you got a few points back to the upside now. But even then, that doesn't mean that it's a long. Gotta keep my eye on STX. The bids went up a lot. She did it, guys. She's doing it. Like I said, I still think if this is gonna go, we have about 10 more bucks left. Damn, that was a nice shake and bake. Damn, I like that. There you go. So that new high, now you have a higher. This is a solidification right here. That is a very, very good sign. Oh, man. I might have to wait for the next 15-minute chart to close. It's going to close in 1 minute. I think we get a pullback here. So you have 1 minute here. And this 15-minute candle will close. Okay. And then we look for another entry at that 410 level. See how it's getting crazy? You can see the volatility each time. Each time those 15-minute candles close, it like algorithms are really going in on this thing. Okay. Look at that increase in volume, break to a new high, baby. Let's go. Give me a pullback. Give me a pullback. Let's go. I want this. I just think there's still enough room. I think we can get up to 420. I don't think there's any reason why we can't get to 420, 425. All right, let's go. Pull it in. There's your new 15-minute candle. Let's watch this 15 minutes here for a pullback. And I'm gonna look for an entry. The contracts I have up right now are the 420 calls for this week. If it doesn't pull back, it doesn't pull back. There's nothing I can do. All right, there's a lot of strength with this right now. So, but I think we can. I think she'll give us 410. I think we can get another 410 entry. I know it might sound crazy, but I think we can get it. All right, Bitcoin is bouncing. Bitcoin's ripping as well. Damn. Look at the bids on those STXs. Now you're at 930. Come on, baby. Pull it in. Pull it in here. This would be a beautiful pullback entry if we can get a continuation long. Don't fail me now, STX. Let's go. Pull it in. Look at that. This would be a beautiful. I know we've already pulled in there. It's already tested it, but I want to see it. I want to get another one. If we can get another one, I'm in on this. As long as I can get it for the right price. If you are already in this, congratulations. And if you did not get psyched out, right, on that pullback, um, where she got a little shaky and acted like she was going to try to, fail that previous high with an increase in volume, little did she do that. Little did she know she was not going to do that, and that you're going to get another increase in volume to the upside. It was going to hold, but it was going to bring in even more volume. Why did it probably bring in more volume? It's probably because a lot of the shorts here, they probably started to enter, and you can see, right? This is important because you can see, right, on a 1 minute chart, right? After you got that, look at this, right? You got it, and then look what happened here. Reject. They're like, shit, give me that, right? So they got short on the bounces of these previous lows here. You bounce, pull in, it breaks it, right? It breaks, bounces back to retest these previous lows, and look at the volume that came in on that selling pressure, right? That it was starting to increase. And then what happened? They never got to move. And then look, see that? That's them exiting. Nope, I'm good. It's not. This is obviously got a lot of strength with it. It pulled in, and then bang. That's when you really solidified. They were probably this also was probably people that were using prior day's high as a stop, and they got stopped. Because look at the candles, they're closing at the highs. All right, so here we go. We're pulling in. They're trying again up there. I don't understand why they would. You still have at least $10 more left on this thing. You should. I mean, I understand why they would because I'm looking for a pullback here, right? I want to see this 15-minute candle close. Like, hopefully we could close it down here somewhere and get another 410, 411 entry, okay? And then what's that going to do? It's going to bring that trade line up here as well, and we get another test of it. We're really extended far away from it. I want to enter in and on it, right? I want to enter on it and exit away from it. I don't want to enter away and exit on. That means I lost. Unless I'm short here, right? Unless you're shorting those highs and looking for that pullback. But come on, give us 410, 412. We can do it. Those contracts are up almost 100%. Almost. They're probably like 80%. Because they were at like 600 to 600 bid, 700 ask, and you're at 1,900. You had a 900 bid with like 1,100 ask. So pushing close. pushing close to 100%. It's probably like 75 to 85%. Wow. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on from this, and I'm just going to set an alert, and I'm not going to look at it. Create an alert at and below. At or below. Okay? My alert is set. So if we get that pull in, I'll be notified. And I think we will. I think we should. Uh, see, Delta's not pulling in, and you're starting to get. It's probably going to go higher. Yeah, I'm good on this. It's got a lot more volume in there. Almost 300 contracts are opened right now, just under. What else do we have? So we have that Bitcoin. Senate Majority Leader Thun or whatever has rejected the latest DHS um, funding offer. Okay, let's keep an eye on Bitcoin here. IBIT. IBIT. Oh, you rejected previous highs. So far, not much for me this week, guys. So far, I've been just taking a back seat, waiting and watching. I want to make sure that I have Rivian. Got a lot of names moving, like PayPay Corp, whatever the hell that is. Damn, look at Dow, guys. Dow's ripping. Not the Dow Jones, but Dow in and of itself. Kroger, Zillow. Zillow is up a lot. You guys look at this. Look at Nokia. Nokia has been a monster. For anybody that hasn't seen this chart, look at this. This thing's just been a beast. I think that entire sector's got a lot going for it right now. Firefly is up 3.6%. Zillow is up 6.4%. Let's go check out Zillow. Here's your daily chart. It's at lows. It's at support. This might be a good buy. You might be able to get a little something off of it, right? Major level down here, right? Major level at 40, but you're not at 40 right now. So the next level, honestly, would be that gap fill. I think 60 is much more of a level to look at than that. But pivot lows, pivot highs. $50, I guess. What a consolidation. ASTS, another one that's just going crazy. Come on, hurry up. Hurry up. Okay, there we go. Pivot low, pivot high. So if you want, keep Zillow on watch. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but Zillow to launch Zillow preview for pre-market home listings. Cool. Again, we have an alert for STX. We have an alert out for that. That's why I'm not watching, not keeping my eyes glued to it right this second. All right, ASTS is up 8%. Okay, 8%. ASTS Space Mobile is trading higher. On Wednesday, risk appetite improved across high beta technology names amid a news cycle dominated by policy and supply chain uncertainty. NVIDIA, cool. Dow, let's go look at Dow. So there's no reason for ASTS to be up like that. Look at that break and retest on Dow. Dow to participate at the 2026 JP Morgan Industrial Conference. What Iran means for oil. That was a couple days ago. All right. So this thing is, there's no news on this. At least there's no particular news that's sending this higher. Look at this thing. I thought it was selling off at one point. Let's go to the monthly chart. I might have to get me a piece of this. If we could pull back. I may just have to get some of this. All right. Anyway, I may be going too fast for you guys, but let me pull up a 4-hour chart. Yeah, you got some pretty decent resistance up here at $38. Man, congratulations. If you got STX this morning, congratulations. Honestly, congrats on that trade. I'm waiting for my little bit of a pullback here. And then the next question is, even if we get the pullback, are the options contracts going to give me the price I'm willing to pay? That would be the next question. Netflix pulled into the 100-day moving average. All right. These previous highs from last week. It's trying. I'd much rather would have liked Netflix to hold up there. It's just kind of not really doing much. Let's go look at United Healthcare. UNH. Nice little support there. You have the 20-day moving average below you. Positive MACDs. You have MACDs confirming the highs. Okay. You have no divergence, which is a good sign. Volume is there. These are all the things you want to see. Like if you want to take a trade, right? Or all these things lining up in your direction. Just increasing the probability, right, that trade should work out if you give it enough time and if you execute correctly. All right, so you have a nice little break retest here on UNH. It is below prior's high, but it is a range at the same the same time, or the same token, or whatever. I don't know, whatever the saying is. Let me see. Let's see here. Bro, what? Oh my god. Go look at like WDC. Still has not pulled in here yet. It's trying to. You got to be careful because you're just getting you're getting to be a little bit extended. So a lunchtime cool off would be nice. I'm probably going to end today without a trade, and I'm okay with that, guys. I am 100% okay with that. Sorry that I'm not talking into the mic. All right. Bitcoin, STX. All right, QQQ is pulling in. STX is pulling in. Let's go look at Coinbase, MSTR. little bit of resistance up here. Oh shit! Is my? I can't believe the mailbox hung on. Wow. Okay. Bank of America said global investors turned bearish. Iran and private credit concerns and frothy bull sentiment. North America data. U.S. ADP employment change weekly 9,000, previously 15.5. Pending home sales month over month for February 1.8%, previously negative 0.8. The low is negative 0.45. I'm sorry, negative 4.5 with a high of 7.2. Year over year, negative 0.8. Previously, negative 0.4. Red Book, that's a year over year, March 14th. Year over year, 6.4%. Fed services, business activity, negative 22. Justin Wang is growth accelerated at a larger scale. Cool. All right. Anyway, let's see where some of these names are. Keep an eye on that 210 area for Coinbase. So the closer we get to 12 o'clock, 11:45, my day is about done, you guys. I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm not getting off just yet, but more than likely going to wrap things up here soon. Hopefully I can get that pull. Look at Microsoft still pulling in. It's going to get to a point where I may have to take a stab at this thing again. All right. I bought Microsoft, guys, down at the low 200. I think it was like 180. So I own it at a lot lower prices. Um, right around. I started buying Microsoft around 180, 190. I owe it. I owe it at the high 100s, the low 200s, and like 225, 230, something like that. And then I didn't buy anymore. I had net at $30, like $28, $30, right in here. Yeah, 33, $28, because it was consolidating for a little bit. It was just like the reason I got rid of it was because I'm like, man, all right, you're watching Tesla, you're watching every name that you could think of is just ripping and roaring. And I was in this thing and I'm like, what am I doing? Everything around me is going up and this thing just isn't doing shit or it's going down. But, you need to hold it for the long term. The reason I also sold it on top of that was because I had that idea and then, not idea, but when I went to visit their site, they didn't seem to me to be like a, you know, I couldn't take them serious with the webpage that I went and looked at Cloudflare and then come to find out, none of that shit really matters because it doesn't. But I wasn't too sure. I was just like, let me get on some names that are running, and then obviously it's done very well. Let's go look at CrowdStrike. Another name that I should have bought. I could have bought this thing at 70, $80, and I never did. Shame on me. Shame on me. We could have got Coinbase at $50. It's wild. Marriott. Let's see. USD sell. Let me go look at some of these memory names again. So NVIDIA is about to go red. Dell is pulling in about red. Let's go look at Dell. I don't mean to be all over the place. Okay, so Dell is right there at that level. Things are negative though right now. Oh Jesus Christ! I can't listen to this bitch. I'm starting to get hungry. STX. it's going without us. It's not going to pull in just yet, at least. It's wild. Congratulations if you're on this name. Never got my entry. I never got my entry. Look at this. Okay, what time is it? It is 11 o'clock. Turn on some, let's see here. We'll go to Charles Schwab. We'll watch some Charles Schwab real quick and then see what's going
is
on.
Clearly offsetting those higher jet fuel. Some nice numbers here on the heels of what he said, which was really an early reveal of what we're hearing from Delta. Alex.
Good stuff. Nicole, 4 for 4 for the airlines. Delta bringing along American, as you mentioned, as well as Southwest and United, as all four of the majors higher on today's session. Thanks to Nicole Petalides. Make sure to check out her program later on this afternoon. The watch list here on the Schwab Network, 2 p.m. Eastern time. But with that, we'll shift gears and welcome in our next guest. That's Chris Ward, the founder and senior wealth advisor for Entry Point Wealth Management. Chris, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Let's talk some Fed. Somewhere hidden within all these market dynamics is, of course, the FOMC meeting this week. Not a lot expected when it comes to a decision on rates this time around, but a lot of focus on the words and the wording. What do you expect will happen?
Yeah, I think the Fed's really in a tight spot. You know, when you think about where we are as in an economy and the global pressures that are.
Questions we're going to ask. I'm good. What is futures now?
The president said.
Well, the president has gone back and forth on this.
Yes, he has.
And I think it would be.
Let's see here. Let's see. Watch the cues here. They are picking up volume, guys. Right now it is 11:09, so just gonna hang out just a little bit longer. All right, XOM is still making new highs. Okay, still making new highs. Shame on me for not getting on this. This was the moneymaker today. I still think you see this thing go a lot higher. I do. I think it's got some room left, don't it? I think there's some meat on the bones left. All right, if you look, you know, every time it's given you that gap and crap, it's refilled it. So I'm putting in the probability that these previous highs get tested. It's in my opinion, I think it's very. I think it's it's going to happen. So let me go look here. Right, look at this. This was a wick here. It got filled. Right, you filled it right there. It was a long time, but still. Now it's got the momentum. Here's your wick. It wasn't but a few days later, it filled it. It's about 2.5 weeks. So you have a consolidation, and now it's trending higher. So that's a break, retest, boom. All right. Anyway, let's move on. What do we have? Is this the one we looked at earlier or no? I mean, honestly, you never know. This thing could go back to $5. It's got to hold here, though, and extend higher. I don't know. Happening a bit late. I don't know what the float is on it. Abba, man, also going. Damn. I did not buy the pullback on that. Shame on me. Oh, goodness. Shame on me, man. That should have been a long-term pickup there. I forgot. Completely forgot about it. Shame on me. Wow. Yeah, guys, I'm going to get ready and go here in the next like 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to go take care of some other stuff. It's been fun. Appreciate you guys for being here. Mondelez is another name. That I would keep an eye on here. Okay, I would keep an eye on this Mondelez name. It had a really nice day yesterday, past couple days. I think it's just ripping through this 50, 20-day level, 120, 50-day level. Just ripping through it. I would keep an eye on this. Do I think this is a deal? I haven't looked at the financials, but it's also up a lot. Look at that run from 2008, 2009, just into like 2016. Look at that. You have a nice wedge that's formed here, right there. Kind of like what you have going on right now. Right here. Bink. Boom. Maybe it's not a wedge, but it's, keep an eye on it. I have it on watch. I'm going to go back to STK or STX. Starting to get a little tired because I've been sitting here since 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6:30. I actually also just bought some well tower. Okay. Or no, I'm sorry, not well tower. I should have owned this, but I feel like I've done missed it. So this one's just a beast. It just does nothing but go up. Like, look, this thing just does nothing but go up. Just goes up and it goes up and it goes up. I did buy some American Tower. Okay, I have not owned this name. My first buy was down here. All right, which was just a week or two ago. It was down here. We had this nice run, and so far we're holding. See if we can keep that up. Goldman Sachs. This is ridiculous. I don't know, guys. I think just it's kind of tough, man. Sometimes you just gotta take it for what it is, and you just have to be there when the markets give it to you. And it feels like today it's not one of those days, for me at least. Maybe I need to go back and look at Bitcoin. So the U.S. to sell 90 billion of 4-week bills, 85 billion to 8-week bills on March 19th. Why is Booking Holdings up there with McDonald's? Oh, so you have Marriott, Airbnb. Look at the trade desk. Charter Communications. Trade desk is up nicely. What else do we have here? Halliburton's doing nice. Uber's doing nice. Delta Airlines. We know that. And so look, oh, Moderna. We forgot about Moderna. We were watching that name. Look at that previous low trying to hold here. Just gotta move my leg. So that's the IWM here, previous lows. What are you doing, Turkey Bot? Hi, Mama. Damn, DR Horton's getting smoked recently. Not really. See if we can hold this level and try to get ourselves some type of bounce. Probably need some news for this. It's a nice area to own it, I tell you that. Your stop would be, right into this area. Any breaks below. Let's go look at Toll Brothers, TOL. Look at Toll. It's just a better looking setup, in my opinion. That sucks. Looks like it's about to go. Let's go look at Reddit. Let's go look at Reddit. The consolidation here. So Rocket Labs broke out today. That was something I was hoping that this had continued for another month, because this is a chart that's like just waiting to break out for sure. Oh my God, they just show the dumbest shit on TV. Let's see. Boom. 75. Projections there. Look at the volume on that. I was so close. I was looking at that last night. All right, STX. All right, we're looks like we're trying to get this pull in here, man. We're trying to get this pullback in the prior day's high here. Come on, just give it to us. I would love to be able to take a long here. I don't like going long into lunchtime. Come on, let's go. Man, this could be really nice. This could be really, really nice. Or it could get really ugly. Or it could get really ugly. But I think we have the direction here. We have the direction. And we still have, with this type of volume and momentum, no reason why we can't get to at least 420 by the close, guys, or into tomorrow's open. That's just my opinion. Again, come up with your own plan. I'm not I'm going to be wrong. I'm not always going to be right. I'm not going to execute correctly. Some days I will, some days I won't. I will do my best, though. I will do my best. You just have to make sure that you're capable of handling the risk if you go along with the trades. Again, if you make money with us, feel free to get back to the stream. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Let's go see what is trending. Let's go see what is trending. All right, what's it gonna be? All right, what are we gonna do here? What are you gonna do, STX? I want to see the volume here also start to increase on the 420s. The reason I'm going after the 420s is the volume factor, and I think that would be the target. There's our alert. Our alert was just hit. The alert was just hit. TLT's making new highs. Kava, BBOC. Okay, here we go. Just a little bit. Bring it on in just a little bit now. We gotta do this. We gotta do it. Gotta do it. 7:30. Oh my god. So when we were here last time, guys, the bids were like the low 600s to a 700 some ask, not 740 to 960. I knew they'd do this. Maybe I just buy the stock itself. Maybe I just buy shares. But then if I buy shares, you're talking about maybe like $8 to $10 at the most on this, unless you get. That's if I'm right, right? That's if I'm correct, and we continue with the momentum. QQQ. The Qs are getting a little hairy now because that sell side volume stepping in here. You had a really nice bounce there, and they didn't go up much, did they, at all? No. Oh, that fried chicken looks good. Damn it, I'm a sucker for fried chicken. Yeah, the wind's going crazy. 410. You're getting another test of this 410 area. Oh, Lordy. Doesn't look like I'm going to get much of anything today. That's all right. It is what it is. Just, got to be patient. The week will open up. Things will open up, so don't get discouraged. Look at them raising the asking price here. Look, 830. Wow, what idiots. You're not you can't tell me there's 26 3 9 5 4. There's not even freaking there's only 200 on in total. That makes no sense. Look at that. They're really trying to get somebody to pay more. That's a market maker, I guarantee you. Or somebody dumb. I don't know what it is. But second, the fact that it's not filling at 800 is kind of crazy if you think about it. Right? Isn't that kind of crazy? Right? If they're not filling him at 800, why would they not? Because it's going to pay. There's just not enough liquidity there, or what? Because there's no reason why. There it is. They either got filled or they moved. They probably got filled because it's getting ready to break. Look, they're going to wipe all of these people out. Watch. If you break this real quick, you probably wipe all of this out, and it goes to like 680, and it fills them, and then they're down money. Let's see. Check. Okay, audio's working. Just starting to fall asleep here. Just getting a little tired. Come on, we got to do something here. I would love to try to get long here. I just don't like that I saw somebody on the bid for 800 and they didn't immediate fill it. That is crazy to me. I don't understand. I mean that order should have immediately gotten filled, which is insane. I'm getting hungry. I am getting. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And Q, it's 11:30. Again, I don't like taking trades this late. So I'm probably going to get ready and call it here in a little bit. I'm just trying to just look around here and see if I see something that may provide some opportunity going into the afternoon. Look at that. Those STX prices are right back to almost $1,000. But I don't know. Ain't no way in hell I'm even paying $8 for that. I'm not paying $8 for a $10 move when we're already going into the afternoon. I mean, it's not bad because I think you get 420 and there's still $2 left over if you paid $8. It's $200 profit. Worst case scenario if it closes up there on Friday. But I need it for like 650, maybe 7 is what I would feel comfortable paying. Because you got to think you could also be wrong, right? Things could change. A news piece could come out and this previous day high breaks, and then what? Now you're wrong, and all the premiums just get sucked out of it because everyone realizes you're wrong, right? And then they start raising the put side of it. MU trying to make another new high as well. WDC, just a monster run today again. What else do we have? The most important one, in my opinion, SNDK, hanging out at prior day's highs. This thing might, I think SNDK pulls in. Wouldn't be surprised if it does. I'm very upset I didn't get 500. Frustrated I didn't get 500. What I'm gonna do is I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go make a bowl of cereal and then I'm gonna wrap this stream up. Let's see. Let me pull on Bloomberg. Wait, what is that?
Is, look, guys, I'm not losing market share to Broadcom or AMD. I have visibility. These hyperscalers will still make up 60% of their revenue, and this pie is big enough that all three can do well.
All right, the numbers are staggeringly big, like they always are, and I trust you that you know what you're doing on the math. What else will the smart folks at this conference be looking for? What do they need to hear from NVIDIA here?
The margins. I mean, guided to $1 trillion in revenue, which implies around $500 billion for 2027. What are your margins going to look like? Are you going to take a slight cut in your margins? And that's where that circular financing element comes into play. If CoreWeave and Nebius are ramping up on NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is investing $2 billion
That's the other name
in
I forgot
Nebius
about.
and $2 billion in CoreWeave, to me, that's sort of a margin offset. Yes, you're saying you have mid 70% gross margin, but then you're investing $2 billion in the company that's buying your chips. So from that perspective, I think NVIDIA cares about maintaining the margins, but these sort of investments are an offset to me in terms of, maintaining your margins.
Right, maintaining margins being primary goal number one here, primary concern here for NVIDIA. We also learned from GTC that NVIDIA is developing chips for data centers in outer space. Is this something that's going to add to revenue in a meaningful way anytime soon?
And probably Elon Musk knows the answer to this question because he has been the most vocal about, setting up data centers in space. But to my mind, given how much cooling and the cluster size of these AI data centers, you just yes, cooling is an advantage in space, but you can't set up a cluster of 100,000 GPUs when one of the chips can fail. How do you replace that? And I think a lot of the other folks in the industry have called that point out, that you can't set up big clusters in space. Even if you can have a chip for space, AI needs large amounts of processing, big clusters of chips. You can't do that in space.
30 seconds left. I'm seeing that NVIDIA stock up 50% on a trailing 12-month basis, but basically flat year to date. What's the current story if I'm a stock jockey on NVIDIA?
I mean, I think there is still a lot of skepticism around NVIDIA being able to reach that level, even though I think if Jensen is guiding, I would believe him. He has visibility, and these growth rates are staggering. But with semis companies, you always have to think about when is that digestion period going to come, and what does that mean for EPS? And we will see an EPS decline when that digestion period comes.
It's funny, I didn't even think of NVIDIA as a chip company. It's an AI company, but no, really.
It is a chip company. Yes.
And that's a cyclical business, I've been told.
Yes. Well, it used to be.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It used to be. I don't know. Mandeep Singh, Global Tech Research Head, Bloomberg Intelligence. He was born on third base, folks. He became a tech analyst when this whole internet thing started, and then AI, I mean, I could have been successful.
Now he's our global tech research head.
Yeah, he does it all, so we appreciate that. S&P up 24 points, the Dow up 140 points. This is Bloomberg.
I am going to get off of here after I'm done. News are falling out of bed. There's a little bit of a hole.
Markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, Bloomberg Television, and the Bloomberg Business app. This is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
And I'm John Tucker, the Bloomberg Newsroom, with this Bloomberg Business Flash. Renewed wave of stock buying today, but this lift that we're getting, it looks like it's fading a bit. And I got to think that the tweet from President Trump had something to do with it. After calling for help in securing the Strait of Hormuz, now he says he doesn't want NATO allies' help because they rebuffed him at first. Airlines did jump after some executives cited strong bookings as travelers rushed to lock in fares ahead of a potential rise in the fuel costs. You have Delta right now up 4%. Qualcomm gaining 2% on plans to buy back $20 billion in shares and also boost its dividend. As we look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, up 96 points right now, so it's up 0.2%. Yeah, fading some of the earlier gains. S&P 500 is 19 points higher. That's up 0.3%. The Nasdaq 100 up 94 points. That is up 0.4%. Terry Wiseman at Macquarie Futures says, you know what, investors, they are looking for clarity.
It's very difficult to take directional views at this point, right? I think the issue here is going to be about the duration of this war, and not just that, but what is on the other side of it when it ends.
And treasuries right now pretty much unchanged. The twos, which are more policy reactive, 367 the yield right now. The 10-year down almost 2 basis points actually at 419. The Fed beginning its two-day policy meeting. And meantime, Boeing signaling that several performance issues are going to weigh on its first quarter results from fewer than planned deliveries and wiring defects to the cost to turn around its reintegrated supplier. Shares of Boeing right now down 1.3%. Now, I don't know if I believe this, but anyway, according to the National Retail Federation, spending for St. Patrick's Day is expected to reach a record $7.7 billion.
No.
Like on what?
Guinness.
Well, the top purchases, they say, food and beverages.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. And I'm told by the Donahoe family from the Emerald Isle that corned beef and cabbage is not any sort of traditional Irish
is that right?
meal.
That's good, because my dad used to make me eat that.
I mean, I love it.
Not really?
Yeah, I know.
Good to know.
I love it, but it's not traditional, supposedly.
You would know.
We check the markets for you all day long right here on Bloomberg Radio. I'm John Tucker. That's your Bloomberg Business Flash. Poland Scarlett.
Exactly. Scarlett Fu, Paul Sweeney live here in our Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio, streaming live on YouTube as well. We've been following this office market really since the pandemic, as you talk about an industry that was really hit hard by the pandemic and is still recovering as we think about getting back to the offices, and different companies have different policies. But from a real estate investor perspective, what's the story these days? Let's check in with Jeff Langbaum, Senior U.S. REIT Analyst for Bloomberg Intelligence. Jeff, I know you guys and your team did some research on kind of the current state of the office market in the U.S. What'd you guys find?
Yeah, not just the U.S. We actually did a survey of cities in the U.S., in Europe, in Asia,
nice.
Australia, and the story was largely the same in all of these major cities, which is companies want people back in the office, and the way to get them back is to offer high quality new space and highly amenitized space and adjacent to transportation. And if you do that, then the people will come. And then the other takeaway, which is interesting, I think, is that as of right now, at least so far, employees sitting in office buildings view AI as an expansion opportunity, less so less so a threat to office demand.
Okay, that seems kind of counterintuitive. Explain why that is. Why is it an expansion opportunity?
Well, it's a couple different reasons. Well, the first, I guess the most obvious as it relates to leasing is all these growing and forming AI companies need some place to have their headquarters. So there is a lot of tech leasing happening in some of these big cities that is directly related to this AI wave. So that's one thing. But as it relates to the survey itself, a lot of the jobs that may be deemed irrelevant from AI or maybe back office. They're not the jobs that are sitting in the high-rise towers in New York and London and Hong Kong. And maybe, if companies can find incremental business opportunities, by making themselves more efficient, there's actually a need to expand their space in those types of buildings, to take advantage of that opportunity, even if it does mean some job redundancy elsewhere.
Jeff, I think I know an A quality office building when I see one, simply because I work in an A plus quality building here at Bloomberg at 731 Lex. What percentage of the inventory, office inventory in the U.S. would you say is A quality?
It's pretty low. And what's interesting is there is such a need for more.
Excuse me. Okay. I'm gonna probably get ready and get out of here. I want to watch this. See what happens here on the cues. I think this is. Trying to hold previous highs here. I don't know, man. It really, you have to ask yourself why you're taking the trade. You're taking the trade with, some resistance in front of you, and the only reason you would take the trade is to say, you know, if there's upside, whether you think there is or you don't think there is, you're only taking the trade here, in my opinion, for the upside, um, for the chance that there is an upside move between today, tomorrow, and into Thursday. Now, does the Fed meeting help you or hurt you? Um, maybe you could get Thursday, Friday contracts, and you just, you're able to get paid just based off of the volatility. Just based off of the volatility. So again, are these reasons though to make a trade? That's what I'm saying. Again, a lot of people just suck at this. Not a lot of people, but the main reason why people just have a hard time is just the decision making the right decisions over and over and over and over. I haven't traded anything today. I'm cool with that. I'm okay. I don't need to. Right? I'm not here just to get you know, just to get the blood flowing and get the adrenaline up, and I'm here to make money. That's it. I'm not here to lose it. Right? I'm here to make it. So could I sell some spreads? Sure, I could, but I have things that I want to do today, and I don't want to be sidetracked with was there a piece of news comes out and I can't manage a position because I'm not focused on it or I'm not watching it. So I think today I'm just this week it already felt like some of the setups just weren't there. Like if so, if you haven't been able to take advantage the past 3 weeks, I'd say the 3 weeks have had really nice setups, and now you're in a position, or at least in my opinion, you're in a transition where you're setting up for maybe the next move. Okay, the past few weeks there were really nice setups. You had Netflix, right? You had Hims, right? There's been a lot of things to trade, and they've offered opportunity and movement. Um, This might even be worth a setup here, right? We called the short and long on Meta. Meta had a really nice setup. Really just playing the range. You got in the lows, you got long. You got in the highs up there at 660, you got short. Right? I called this one out last week on Friday. It was like Wednesday into Thursday. Get short up there. Give yourself time. All right. If it's below 660, say 662, you want to give it a little bit of room because you can see it got a little bit above it, right? But if you gave it $2 up there at that zone, you made out like a king. If you gave it time and you gave it the room that it needed, because look at this. This is like a month and a half long range. So you got to give it at least 3 to 4, at least 3 to 4 days to do something for you. So we called out Walmart. We had the long on Walmart last week. We had a lot of nice things down here, right? Just a really nice support level. Look at this. Bang. This was the day I called it out. You were right at the 50-day. You had that level. The risk to reward there was worth it. So just be patient. Just be patient. Let me see here. What is trending? What's moving? Look at scanner. Sorry about that.
Grip, stability.
All right. I guess this is it for me, guys. This is probably where I call it. What time is it? It's 12 o'clock. Yeah, this is about where I call it. Service now. Go through a few charts just to see if there's any long-term buys or any. Because I would like to own service now. I don't want to fight these type of names that are just doing awful. All right, so we got our 50-day moving average right in here. Let me get rid of these Fibonacci retracements. I want to own this name, and I feel like the fact that I'm not taking up, the fact that I'm not buying it down here, it's fucking stupid of me. Excuse my language. I think it's really dumb to not purchase it down here. These are setting up to, here's your previous high, pivot high. You broke it, you put in a double bottom, boop, boop, rallied, pulled in. Let's see, that looks like it's 38% of the move, right? Looks like 38%, about 50, about 50%. So, you know. Damn, XOM is gone. Holy cow. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of here. Come in and have a little bit, hopefully we have a little bit better of a watch list tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a Fed meeting. All right, you guys take care. I don't think I have anyone here to I just seen something and I forgot what it was. AVGO and oh, it was Reddit. Reddit. Oh, that's right. It had the gap up. Oh shit! It kept going. Somebody's gonna start screaming up here. All right, but so yeah, that's it from me, guys. Have a great rest of your guys' day. I gotta figure out how to get some people here. Not if they don't want to be here. All right, you guys have a great day. See you guys on the next one.